Hey guys, this is Chad Joyce with Plum Real Estate, and welcome to our latest edition of Foreclosure Friday. Today we are actually up in Aubrey, Texas. We're in a community called Silverado. This is a D.R. Horton community, and we're going to be walking through a Fannie Mae HomePath property. And we'll talk a little bit about what HomePath is. That's basically Fannie Mae's REO department. But they offer special financing, and they give special deals for people. And there's opportunities there if this is something you want to look into. This property address is 10709 Klondike Lane in Aubrey. There's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,754 square foot home built in 2020. Right now it's listed for $350,000. So, pretty good, decent little starter home, good size. Since this is a newer community, we're also going to check out some of the HOA amenities, have a look at that. Then we'll go back to the office, see if this is a good deal, go over what HomePath offers, and see if this is something that can be good for an owner-occupant or an investor or a landlord. But let's go on in, let's check out this property, and let's see what we find. All right, here we go. Come on in right in the front door. Well, this is definitely unique. There's nothing here. You just kind of walk on in. It's kind of crowded. Let's see what we find here. Looks like we got 2 bedrooms and 2 baths up here. Now, this is recent construction, so this is a 2020 build. I don't really expect there to be much of anything wrong with this house. As you can see, I mean, it's nice, well kept, clean. One of the advantages of Fannie Mae is they will come through and they'll do some repairs and updating. Now, I don't know if they repainted this house, but they definitely put new carpet in here. So that's bedroom 3. Here's secondary bathroom. Again, I mean, 2020 build. We got the tile, faux wood tile that I really enjoy. I don't know anybody else does. Shower, tub combo, recessed lighting in here, really nice. I mean, this is a good looking house. Double vanity, which is nice to have in a secondary bathroom, especially since they're going to be, these 2 bedrooms share this bathroom. That's one thing that a lot of builders don't necessarily do. They'll just put a single vanity in there. Here's bedroom 2, good size walk-in closet. You got paneled doors. These are lighter doors, so they're not too heavy. But good sized bedroom, decent sized closet. Again, you got the new carpet in here, got the neutral colors. Home shows really well. This is 1,754 square feet. So nice floor plan here. I don't really like the front. I mean, this is awful crowded. There's not really an entry area here. You can see it's, lower ceilings. Not really that high. I'd say they're 9-foot tall ceilings. I can reach my hand up and almost touch them. So let's go on through here. We'll pass that. On the left was the laundry room. Here is the main living area. Gas fireplace. Does not look like the gas is on. There's the connector. The switch is right over there on the right. There's the main kitchen. Nice big island dining area over on the right here. Again, you got nice recessed lighting. There's nothing wrong with this house. Really what we're going to have to find out and analyze with this home is kind of see where this is in terms of the market. If you're an investor looking to see what you can get for rent, if you're a homeowner, this is definitely a nice little home. And we'll check out the HOA. D.R. Horton does put a lot of work into their communities, so you do have a lot of amenities. And this is not the typical D.R. Horton. I guess you have that laminate vinyl flooring they put in a lot of their floors. This is upgraded flooring that's been done. So primary bedroom, you got 2 windows, ceiling fan. I don't like having the thermostat controls in a bedroom, but that's just one of the things that happens. Double vanity, basic mirror, recessed lighting. This is actually nice because if you watch some of the new home or the Touring Tuesdays, you've seen that a lot of builders have gotten away from putting bathtubs in their homes, especially D.R. Horton. And again, we're in Silverado, so every home here is a D.R. Horton home. But this one does have a bathtub, has a walk-in shower. Oh, they got a really disgusting toilet that needs to be cleaned. Oh, that smells. Good thing it's not a scratch and sniff. Somebody used that and didn't flush. I'm not even going to touch it. Linen closet. Here's the primary closet. And this is nice and big. Plenty of space to walk in. High ceilings. You could add a third row up here if you wanted to. The one nice thing that they do have is they do have a door to the laundry room. So you can walk straight on in here. Here's your laundry room. Washer dryer connections. A little bit of storage. Everything's electric. I think we'll check the kitchen again. I want to say that kitchen stove may have been gas, so there might be gas in here. We'll check. Yeah, there is gas. I can tell right now. Tankless hot water heater over here. And you can see here's the gas line right here. So that's the gas coming into the property. So there is gas here. Sprinkler system, the electrical panel, garage door opener. You know, good size home. Let's go check out the back. We'll walk through the kitchen again, just to have another look at that, and we can look at the backyard. So, yeah, it is a gas stove cooktop. You know, microwave there. You got the taller cabinets. So this is a good little property. Let's go look and see what the backyard looks like here. Hopefully I don't lock myself out. You may laugh, but that does happen sometimes with these automatic locks. You have to go back to the front. Good extended patio. Now we're actually looking north right now. That's north. West is over here. So it's actually, this is a good location for a nice covered patio. It's not going to be melting hot in the summer. You're gonna have some shade. Good sized yard, 6-foot wooden fence. And they were looking back on the patio. I'm not really checking the mechanicals with the house built in 2020. I doubt any of that has been replaced. This is probably all original stuff. So let's go check out the HOA. Then we'll go check out the, go to the office, analyze the deal, and let's see what we think of this one. All right, guys, we're at the main HOA Amenity Center. There's the entrance. You can see right off to the left across the street is the elementary school. It's Aubrey ISD. Looking to the north here, there's 4 outdoor pickleball courts. Behind it are 2 outdoor basketball courts, and there's some dining areas and picnic areas. We're not going to go up there. It looks like the elementary school is using it right now, so we're going to just check out the rest of the amenity centers. And you know, with Silverado, with D.R. Horton, they do a lot of work on trying to provide quality HOA amenity centers. So I don't think we're going to be able to get in, but you were able to see some of it from above. And we're just going to kind of poke our head in here. Here's the outdoor area. Got a little restaurant, cafe, bar right there. There's the main pool, a little waiting area. There's even a lap pool. They don't have lane ropes up. For those of you who are actually swimmers and know what I'm talking about, that was what I did when I was younger. The horror and for those of you who've never done it, we used to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go swimming every day. So there's the main amenity center pool. It's really nice. You know, I like the layout here. Nice open. There's plenty of parking too, by the way. You know, that's one thing that a lot of amenity centers don't really provide for their residents is enough parking. Like we've been at some where there's only like 2 or 3 parking spots, and not sure what you're supposed to do. I mean, look at all this parking you got here. So I'm gonna kind of look over here. Yeah, you can see with the windmill, there's some picnic benches over there. That's kind of what's also off to the north. Like I said, we're not going to go over there and bug the kids, but there's another area like that up there to the north. So nice little picnic area, green area. Let's walk up this way. There are hiking and biking trails throughout here, and there's ponds for catch and release fishing and all that stuff. I'm going to try to see if I can get another look at the pool up here before someone yells at me. And there's a splash pad here if you have younger children, and they do have it going right now, so have a good little look at it. You can see there's the main pool up there, and there's the splash pad right there. And they have another pool behind it. Can't really tell how deep that one is, but you got plenty of pool space here. Really 3 pools. 2 of them up here on top of the hill are connected to each other. You got a lap pool, you got an adult pool, you got a wading pool, you got a splash pad, and then another separate pool behind the splash pad. And this is all in the main part of Silverado. When you first come in, you drive past all the builder homes, and sure, the D.R. Horton homes, because they're the only builder in here. But you'll drive past their little row of properties, and then right past that is where the school is, the pond is, and the amenities center. So I think the last thing we got to look at, we're going to walk on down here, is the park. One thing I didn't mention in the tour is the HOA dues are $450 every 6 months, so $900 a year, which is actually not bad. Unfortunately, HOA dues are going up everywhere, but you get a lot here. And they have kept them kind of reasonable. There are communities like Windsong Ranch where it's a couple of thousand a year. Yeah, they have that big lagoon, but the costs for that are pretty high. Here's their main playground. I don't think anyone's out here right now, so we can take a closer look at it. A little covered patio area over there for those of us who are born in Northern European climates and turn into red lobsters during the summer. That would be me. And then they have a natural pond over here. I'm not sure. I think probably in the future they're going to have walking trails around that as they develop further. So nice HOA amenities. The builder's still very active in this community. I remember talking to them a couple months ago. They were selling 40 or 50 homes a month, and that was even with the high interest rates. So, there's a lot of activity. This is going to be a very large community. They're going to be here for several more years. If you do want to invest in this community, maybe one of the only ways you can do that is through buying a foreclosure property or something along those lines. But let's go on back to the office, and let's see if this one works for us. All right, guys, we're back in the office, and we're going to take a look at this 10709 Klondike Lane in Aubrey. Remember walking through that, this is a Fannie Mae HomePath property. There's really no work to be done on this house. There's no repairs that are needed. It's a really good home, built in 2020. And really, I wanted to show it to you because there are some neat little things that go on with Fannie Mae HomePath. And what HomePath is for Fannie Mae basically means that it's an REO property. REO stands for real estate owned. It means that Fannie Mae acquired it through foreclosure or deed in lieu or some other way like that, where they now own the property and they're trying to sell it because they don't want to be a homeowner. So let's have a look at this one. That subdivision is interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of activity there with D.R. Horton. You can see right now we're listed at $350,000. We're 1,754 square feet, 3 beds, 2 baths. Okay, pretty basic little home. They've been on the market for 11 days total. So they still have their first look period going on. We'll check and see how long that is here in a second. So what I did over here is I just pulled up everything that is in Aubrey, here's a city, and Silverado, the subdivision. We're looking at closes that happened in the last 90 days. So really, we're only looking at homes that are on the market, currently under contract, or have closed in the last 90 days, last 3 months. And it's crazy. We have 186 matches. This is what happens when a builder is hyper active in a community. In D.R. Horton, this is their community. They are hyper active here. And by what I mean by that is, let's go look at the builders. You got 186 total. 87 of those are builder properties. So that's a lot. And the problem with that is now there's 99 properties that are non-builder homes that have to compete with D.R. Horton, and that's going to be difficult to do. So let's look at this, and remember, see how big were we? We're 1,754 square feet. So you can see we're on page 2 here. Let's go over to page 1. Here's page 1. Here's all of our actives. Okay, you can see already 325, 1,701 square feet. Let's see what else we find. 340, 1,778 square feet. These next two, 340, 1,701, 1,791. So you're already seeing, 347, 1,776, 348, 1,791. So there's already a lot of competition here. And funny thing is, one of these is actually on our street right here, just right down the road. 1,701 square feet is $10,000 cheaper. So let's look at that one, see if maybe it's not in as good a condition, or let's see. Nice picture. No, that's a good looking house. They have the laminate, the hardwoods in there as well. They have the updated countertops. I mean, the house looks really nice. Looks really good. Nice backsplash. The taller cabinetry. So, I would say this home's probably in the same condition as our property, which makes it really hard to justify a $350,000 sales price. Like, I just can't. Let's go look at our sales. And in fact, when I usually have so many like this, I just click these off and just look at our sold. So there's 70 sales in the last 3 months, which means that's a little bit over 23 a month. So if you got about 100 properties, it's going to take about 4 months of inventory to get through that. But let's see what we got here. I mean, you got two 1,700 square foot homes that sold at $320. Here's a 1,791 sold at $320. I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing this market value as, 1,768 to $330. I mean, and here's where D.R. Horton's selling, 1,735, 1,758 at $335. And you got to know they're giving incentives. They're giving, breaks on that. They don't want to lower the price of what it sells at, but they will give incentives. Let's see what we got here. They didn't put anything in there. Let's see about the next one. And what I'm looking at is, see here, right here. Seller paid $14,265 off a $334,990 closing. So really, they're at $320,000 on their purchase price. That's how a seller's going to look at it. So, being listed at $350, go over to our calculator. I would say our ARV is probably going to be, oops, let me fix my chair. ARV is going to be at $320. And that's really what you should want to, that's really the max that you want to pay. Let's look at the rentals real quick here. Again, we're looking at 1,750 square feet approximately. And And here's what I see immediately. There's 3 properties right here that are all racing to the bottom, 2,100 to 2,250 square feet. Whereas, you've got some properties down here who leased at 2,200. I mean, here's 2,300. Here's 2,400. So that's telling me demand's drying up. It's getting harder to lease these properties. So if we're going to look at these, I mean, we got to really take in the worst case scenario, which is $2,100. Obviously, flipping's out. Fannie Mae's not going to give you this property for free. So there's really no point even looking at it. And you can look, even if you were able to resell it, you're basically eating $21,000. And that's at a cash sale. It doesn't include any holding cost or anything. If we're at a rental rate, your loan amount has to be 45% LTV, assuming an 8% interest rate right here, and then you will kind of break even. So, not one of the better homes in terms of cash flow. There are a lot of people who are looking at these communities though, and the reason why is because they're getting depreciation. They're breaking even basically on their loan. I mean, even if you go up to 80%, you're losing $855 a month, but they're counting on depreciation and appreciation being higher than that. So they're looking at a more complex return, your internal rate of return, which I don't really get into here. It's a much more complex calculation, but that's what people are looking at. And also, if you can lease this out for, $2,400, that helps you out a little bit more. So, that is interesting with that. What I am interested in with HomePath, here's the Fannie Mae HomePath site. It's homepath.fanniemae.com, and you can look at this property. I think that this is a loan program that people should know about. It does have down payment assistance. It has a conventional loan, which means you're not paying mortgage insurance, with down payments as low as 3%. You have closing cost assistance if you complete a first-time home ownership education class. You can get up to 3%. It's not hard. It just takes some time. There's a lot of opportunities here for an owner-occupant. So while right now the numbers may not actually work out the best, if they drop this price a little bit and you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking in this community, you really need to have a chance, stop and look at this program because it does offer you a lot of benefits. And it's worthwhile for you too. Hey guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tour. This is a Fannie Mae HomePath property. You can go check out everything about Fannie Mae. I believe the website it's either homepath.fanniemae.com or fanniemae.homepath.com. But if you Google Fannie Mae HomePath, it'll pull up. You can look at all the options, whether you want to be an owner occupant or you want to invest. You got low down payment options. You got a variety of interest rates depending on what type of loan terms you get. Fannie Mae does pay up to 3% for closing costs, which is another big benefit. You don't have to do an appraisal. And there's a couple other benefits in there as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the Fannie Mae HomePath process, my contact information is below. Or if you have any questions about real estate in general, I'd love to chat with you, love to hear what you have to say or hear what's going on with your real estate world. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next week and have a good one.